Well. Looks like we finally got Jukebox's first kill. It took forever, and now we're finally here. Fucking finally. But I'm gonna get back to that one. But in the beginning, it was interesting because Rock was talking to her moms and her and about Joyce about the whole parenting thing and about how Joyce felt like she felt as a parent. But it's crazy because the similarities is there between like Rock and her mom and then Rock and Kanan, where it's like Kanan doesn't see his mom like the way he's seen her in maybe like the first season ish, because it's like Rock sort of like fucked his mind up and things that she did to him, so he's kind of like distance. And then we got to see like him talk to Snaps later about this, where it was like, how do you want to be feared, Kanan? Like, how do you want to be seen? Because Kanan tells them, he's like, well, it was basically hit. Like his the stash house was hit, and that's when he was asking him. He said, you don't have any other places? Because again, Kanan is still in the learning process of it all, where you have to have multiple stash houses. You can't just have the one. But he's learning, and that's when he tells him, he's just like, I don't want to be anything like my uncles. I don't want to be like Rock. I just want to be me. I want people to see me. So that's when it was like, okay, we got something to hear. And in the story that they're telling, it's like they're building. I'm not going to jump to conclusions, and I don't want to jump to conclusions, but it seems like in the story that they're trying to build where Kanan is trying to be separate from his mom and he's trying to like do things differently. But then at the same time, as if they're trying to build like a Kanan versus Rock story. That's what it seems like they're trying to build, though. I could be completely wrong, and I'm hope that I'm wrong, because you don't have two people, two alpha males who's want to do their own thing, and one doesn't want anything to do with the other, but the other wants to be in the other's life. But that person is just like, no, I kind of want to do my own thing because I don't want nothing to do with you, but I just want to do my thing. So I don't know what they're trying to tell, but it seems like they might be telling something interesting between like Rock and Kanan. But we got to see later on too, where Unique he went over to Damon's house to recruit him. Motherfucker recruited him for his ass to get killed. He was like, yo, Rock screwed us both. We both died. So yeah, let's do something about it. So they go over there. They go to like one of the places, the little Chinese warehouse spot, and that's when they had a whole shootout match. And then Damon gets killed, and then Unique gets off like a damn bandit. He escapes like a damn bandit, and then we get to see him going over to Sal Buscelli's wife, Mrs. Buscelli. He goes over to her place, and he's telling her, basically sweet talking her shit, like, well, basically, I'm sorry for your loss. I understand we had problems and all, but it shouldn't have never came down to this. I like this fucking guy. And he's talking her up, and then that's when she gives him, I guess a note or a letter to like, oh, go talk to this person. We would assume it's probably like another mob boss, and probably might be the mob boss that was described in the description a while ago. So he probably might see him. I can't think of the name at the moment, but he's probably going to see him, right? And they're telling something interesting with Unique because, again, he's still moving like a ghost. Now, the one thing that's interesting in the story is that you got our man Early. Oh man. Early's death is going to be so interesting because he's essentially playing two sides, because he knows he's with Unique, right? And Unique is telling people like, you know what? It's about time I should reveal. I do a face reveal. Everybody need to see my face. And it's like, Early like, listen, man, you the invisible man. Nobody needs to know who you are, right? And then that's when Marvin he goes over to Early, and he talks about like recruiting him for a job, because basically Marvin killed the last guy, so he takes him over to see Stefano, and that's when Stefano was like, okay. And Stefano told Marvin, he said, listen, you vouching for this guy. If any fuck shit happens, Marvin, I'm coming for you. Like, this is all on you. And I'm like, ooh, you see? And I'm like, that's like, I'm still telling y'all, all eyes are still on Marvin. I don't care what nobody say. All eyes are still on Marvin, because Early is a double agent. Like, well, not a double agent, but he's basically working with Unique, and he's not telling nobody unless somebody gets the drop and the information gets out that, well, Early knew, and they be like, word, Early knew? I bet Early has to die. because it's like he's just there. He's just there collecting information because, like I said, he's the guy that everybody knows in the neighborhood. He's fixing their cars, but then also he knows people and he's good with the books and the numbers. So it's like, okay, so Early is useful. He's a useful guy, but because he knew he helped Unique get out of a ditch, and he was the only one to know that Unique is alive and doing all this crazy shit. It's only a matter of time until Early catches the bullet. Only a matter of time. Then we got to see uh Lulu meet with Amani, and they was discussing about like B-Rilla and the music. I like that beat in the beginning though. That beat was kind of hard a little bit. I like that beat. And they was discussing about the music and trying to like put B-Rilla on and trying to get him to sell more tracks. But from in the trailer, we get to see that I guess this is the woman that maybe Lulu was sleeping with from in the trailer. So I'm like, all right, they playing this whole I hate you, but I'm going to sleep with you later type business. I'm like, okay, we know what we're going to probably expect from these two because we seen this woman looking at Lulu like she's about to drain his ass dry. So I'm like, all right. We know where this shit going to probably go. Okay, but the conversation came up later where Lulu talked to Kanan about the whole Famous business because Kanan got to meet B-Rilla, firsthand, and they talked for like a little bit. And that's when the conversation came up about Famous, and Lulu told Kanan, he was just like, well, Lulu, Famous Famous is not in Los Angeles as what Jessica told him. So it's like, and he was like, what you think about the matter? And that's when Kanan's like, he don't want to think about anything fucked up. But the thing is a possibility that Marvin probably killed Famous. It's a strong possibility he probably killed the, or my theory was he probably didn't kill him, but maybe he sent them off somewhere and said, you can never come back. Like you can't show your face, you can't rap anymore. You got to be Ghost, right? That's what I'm thinking. He probably did with him. Either or, it's either or. It's one of those two. But if he's dead, then damn. But we got that, and then we got to see like Rock getting with like a new connect because all of this is that she's trying to like get away from Quan because she doesn't like how Quan is treating her with the whole overpricing and the way that her business is with Quan. Like she wants to be the supplier. She doesn't want to work for like I guess anybody else, but she wants to be like the connect, like that main pipeline, right? So I'm like, we got that, but then again, we still have an interesting turn because Snaps put Kanan on to Quan, and that's when Quan was like, well, let me hear your take and let me hear what you got to say. And that's when Kanan told him, he was like, well, things always get complicated between Rock. So he says, well, we do business together. So that's when he was just like, all right. So we're going to probably see like Quan and Kanan probably like maybe work closely together. But then that's when we see Kanan meet Stefano. And that's when Stefano was like, listen, kid, I don't want nothing to do with you. Your mother came to me for $500,000 to get you out of a jam. And now you're trying to go behind her back. Nah, man, get out of here, man. Get out of me. I don't want nothing to do with you. So, I mean, this is another take on I guess like the reason, maybe I would say a take because it was just a light jab to throw Kanan out the door. But we do know that there's going to be more nonsense between like Kanan and the Italians. But I mean, I would still think that if with Early's developments with Unique, that if Early screws over Marvin, then something bad's going to probably happen to Marvin. Because remember, the FBI is still looking at Stefano and Marvin at the same time. But with everything that's happening right now, again, there's still all eyes are still on Marvin, but then Stefano could still catch his bullet though. It's still possible though. It's possible to save Marvin and kill Stefano, but if Stefano kills Marvin, like we got something here. So it's like we gotta keep our eyes on certain things and certain developments. But then we got later into the story where Jukebox was at the gay club and she was out with the friends, and then that's when one of the friends was married, and then Aaron shows up. Come here, woman. You ain't gonna be down with this nonsense. Come here. And he grabs her up, and that's when we got that big shit later at like towards the ending where this Aaron was about to kill Marvin until Jukebox showed up, and it's like Marvin was right to take the gun. I understand Jukebox didn't want it to be, wild, but sometimes in a scenario like that, it had to be because Aaron was very abusive and it was very aggressive. He was just like, no, man, you're not going to be in this nonsense. You're going to be with me. So Jukebox had to save Marvin at the end, and then that's when you seen her pull the trigger, her first kill. I wanted, like I said, we gotta get more into this because it's like this was her first kill, and how all of this is gonna be for her. Like what's happening here? Because I wouldn't say when Kanan, I wouldn't say Kanan because Kanan was fucked up with the whole Howard thing, but um, this guy was a random. He was just an NPC, so he was a random. So he caught the bullet. He caught the bullet. So I'm like, oh boy, but um, yeah, this episode was clean. It was clean. Oh, and also too, the torturing of Tremont to get the information of the supplier, which Rock talked to later on in the story, but uh it's cool because Marvin was like the type of person who's like literally on his hitman timing. Like he's always in these different disguises and he's able to do like great things. That's why Stefano sees potential in him. But it goes back to that conversation. If Early screws over Marvin, Marvin is fucked. He is fucked because you know that Unique is gonna probably be like, word, like you like, with Stefano, really? Word? Okay. Like you can get some numbers, you can get more shit from me because he's leaning on Early as his guy, and Early doesn't mind because he's taking money from Marvin, and whatever Unique is giving him, he's getting shit from Unique. So Early sitting back like a fat rat, looking great at the moment of getting money from both sides of the family. But it's only a matter of time until word gets out that Unique is alive, and Early knew about it, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, Early, where you at, gang? I need to see you real quick." And it's like, "Well, what's up?" Pow, pow, pow. Like that's just a matter of time until that happens. But like I said, I do like the developments of what they're doing, like between like Kanan and Rock, because I still think that there could be something that they're teasing. Because you don't have all this betrayal happen, despite Rock telling Kanan about the whole. I can live with the fact that you can't trust me, but I gotta trust my business partners. And Kanan is gonna step out of that and do things on his own away from Rock, and most likely probably betray her. So it's like you don't think that at some point in time there's gonna be something between those two. Like I think Rock is gonna maybe try to patch up the relationship because with the relationship that she has with her mom is very fragile. So I think that she might try to patch up the relationship, but again, I don't think they might lead into anything interesting between Rock and Kanan. It's possible it could, but I think she's gonna try to patch it up. But I think at this point, Kanan gonna be like, "Nah, son, I ain't trying to hear all that shit, man. You lied to me. You ain't work with me. You fucked my shit up." So it's just like I don't know about that, but um, you know, comment down below what you guys think of this episode. Shit was pretty good, very good. Finally, Jukebox killed somebody. That's all I'm happy about. Fucking finally. But like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I catch you all in the next one.